On January 14, 2021, authorities were called to the home of Ariel and Jerry Robinson after they placed a 911 call stating that their 3-year-old adopted daughter, Victoria Rose Smith, was unresponsive. Firefighters arrived first, then EMS, who immediately took Victoria to the hospital where she later passed away. So now the question is, what happened to Victoria? What is up, everyone? Welcome back to graydaystv, and today I'm going to talk about the death of 3-year-old Victoria Rose Smith. Victoria Rose Smith was adopted along with her 2 brothers by the Robinson family in March of 2020. So who are the Robinson family? The more notable of the 2 is Ariel Robinson. According to her website, Ariel Robinson was a former middle school teacher trying to make it as a stand-up comic, TV personality, and radio host. She and Jerry have 2 biological children and adopted 3 others, like I mentioned earlier, in March of 2020. She is best known for winning season 20 of the Food Network show Worst Cooks in America in August 2020. But that season has since been taken down from all streaming services after her and her husband were officially charged with homicide by child abuse.
Ariel Robinson, the mother of 5.
I think it all started when I almost killed my husband when we were dating because I cooked him some ribs and they were a little dry and he choked on them.
Ariel Robinson sat down with WYFF News 4 in August after winning the Food Network show Worst Cooks in America. She told us then the winnings from the show would go a long way to help her and her husband, who recently adopted 3 more children.
I just know that the Lord had his hands on me and he had a purpose for me to go on there.
The former middle school teacher was an aspiring comedian booked by Justin Williams to perform at a Pickens County barbecue event back in November.
She was hilarious. She was super sweet to everybody around her, and she expressed a passion for working with children and working, with just the community in general.
And by all accounts, she seemed to at least give off the appearance of being a loving mother on social media. Even now, you can go to her Facebook or Instagram page and see countless pictures of her with her children, Victoria in particular, which led many to wonder how she and her husband could do what they are accused of doing to Victoria. But many internet sleuths have gone back through her posts and have found what they believe to be a person with a darker side than many originally saw. On her Twitter, for example, many have pointed to tweets that she made about white privilege. Others have also brought up a stand-up routine of hers that was recorded back in 2019.
It's adoption process. So we're trying to adopt a baby girl, and the social worker, they have to come over and, see that you're not too crazy to adopt. And so the whole way she's coming over, I'm telling my husband, I said, you know what, we should have locked the other 2 up in cages because if she meet them 2, ain't no way they gonna give us another. She gets there, it's too late. They upstairs hollering, screaming. Where the moms at? Where the moms at? Okay, yeah, y'all don't like y'all kids either. So they upstairs hollering and screaming going on. You get to that mommy level and you done had it. So I forget this woman is in my face. So I turn around, yell upstairs, shut up, I come in there and punch you in your throat. Turn back around, and she's looking at me the same way y'all looking at me. It's a game, I put it in, they put me. We got approved.
And during that routine, she tells a joke about threatening to punch one of her children in the throat while she is being visited by social workers during the adoption process. And this is kind of a weird situation because some people can take that as her just making a joke that she thought would be funny. I watched it and it seems like she's in a crowd of parents, of moms, and that's sort of a joke that she thought would work with them. But I can see how people see that she would tell a joke like that and then they think, well, maybe she wasn't the nicest person to her children. And people haven't only brought up some of the negative things that she said in the past, they've also brought up some of the more positive things she said. In one of the episodes of her podcast, for example, she talks about how she doesn't really like watching news or reading news because it makes her upset, especially when it's news about a child who's been abused or hurt.
It might be what I'm about to say. It might be even 99.9. I don't know. But I'm just saying, we don't watch the news for that reason. I'm very sensitive when it comes to stories about children and stuff like that. So when the news started talking about kids getting abused or murdered or left in a car or things like that, I was like, I can't do this. I can't watch this. I can't, for my mental health, I can't watch this because I don't like to hear about a child being harmed. No. So I stopped watching news probably not long after I had Kyle, and that was 2008. So I had to give it up because I was just like, yeah, I can't really do that too much.
I ain't never watched the news. I can't sit there and sit through.
And I bring all this up more so just to show that this person is a complicated human being. By no means am I excusing what she may have done to this innocent child, but to try and take one joke that she made 2 years ago or a tweet that she made and say, see, I knew this woman was evil, I knew she would do something like this, that's very disingenuous. No one could have foreseen what happened to Victoria, and until there's a trial, we'll never truly know what happened that day. But with all that being said, let's talk about what we know so far. Court documents reveal that Ariel Robinson told her husband Jerry to call 911 when their 3-year-old daughter was unresponsive at their Simpsonville, South Carolina home around 2 p.m. on January 14th, 2021.
Greenville County 911, what's the location of the emergency?
You have an emergency. Our daughter is unresponsive. She's drunk a lot of water. We're trying to pump CPR to get out.
What address are you at? Stay on the line, I'll get you over to EMS. Don't hang up. EMS and fire, what's the address of your emergency? Okay. And the phone number you're calling me from? Is anyone there tested positive for COVID-19 or had high-risk exposure to COVID-19 positive patients?
No.
Tell me exactly what happened.
Our 3-year-old daughter is choking on water right now.
Your 3-year-old daughter is what?
Choking on water right now. We need help immediately.
Okay. We'll get help on the way.
Okay.
Is she coughing, like choking, or
no,
is she
not
underwater?
Because the 911 call was originally for an unresponsive child, the Simpsonville Fire Department was first dispatched at 2:16 p.m. and they arrived at the house 3 minutes later. They then contacted EMS, which arrived around 2:25 p.m. When first responders arrived, they immediately took over CPR, which was originally being done by Ariel, and rushed Victoria to Prisma Health Greenville Memorial Hospital, where she later passed away. And this is according to a heavily redacted police report. It also appears that first responders on the scene immediately suspected child abuse. The fire department placed a call to the police department for child abuse / aggravated assault and protective custody at 2:25 p.m. By the time police arrived on the scene at 2:30 p.m., Victoria was already rushed to the hospital where she was later pronounced dead. And a later autopsy revealed that she suffered multiple blunt force trauma injuries to both her face and body. And according to arrest warrants, Ariel and Jerry Robinson are accused of inflicting several blunt force trauma injuries that led to the death of Victoria Rose Smith.
When she entered the room, all eyes were on her because she demanded it and she was a cutie.
A foster child at one time, Tori lived for 10 months with Cameron and Tiffany Huggins before being adopted by the Robinsons.
She was just a natural. Like she had the best personality. And I'm not just saying that because I was her mama, but she was just our life.
As per reports, the other 2 foster children that Ariel and Jerry had have since been taken away by social services. And there isn't any information about what happened to Ariel and Jerry's biological children, but I'm assuming that they are with family members. And after her death, Victoria's biological family begged the Greenville coroner's office to release her remains to their family. And after several days of back and forth, they did finally receive her remains. And they did eventually have a ceremony for her. So currently, Jerry and Ariel Robinson are being held at the Greenville Detention Center, having been denied bond. They have both since attained attorneys, although they are 2 different attorneys, and they both have scheduled bond hearings for February 12th, 2021, which is a couple of days. And I don't know if it's normal for a couple to have 2 separate attorneys or not. If you guys know, please leave it in the comments and let me know, because it seems like this isn't something that would normally happen. Why wouldn't they just have the same attorney? So, but again, I don't know how these things work, so maybe that's normal to have 2 separate attorneys. But if any of you know, please let me know in the comments down below. But the good news, if there is any, with this horrible case, is that it looks like there is going to be a trial, which means that we will get more information on what exactly happened to Victoria Rose Smith. And when we do get more information, I will do an update to this video. I usually don't like doing videos this early in the process because I like to have all the information, and this just happened about a month ago, so there's still a lot of information coming out. even between me writing the script for this video and me recording this video, more information came out. But since I'm from South Carolina, although I'm not there currently, that is where my family is. This is something that I heard a lot about on Facebook, on social media, with people who do live in South Carolina still. So I just thought it was something that I needed to talk about. And this is going to be very interesting. I can't wait till we get more information to find out what happened. And between me writing this script and recording this video, the 911 recording has been released. And from the 911 recording, it seems as though they're trying to say that Victoria drowned from drinking a lot of water. It can happen, but that wouldn't explain any of the blunt force trauma injuries, the multiple blunt force trauma injuries that they found on her. And I don't think firefighters are going to suspect that a child was abused if they don't have clear evidence that that must have occurred. But I don't know. It seems pretty clear that there was some sort of abuse going on in that household. Again, everyone's innocent until proven guilty, but from the little evidence that we know so far, it seems pretty clear cut that something bad went on in that house. So hopefully that when there is a trial, if there is a trial, maybe they'll plead guilty, I don't know. But hopefully we get more information on what exactly happened to this little girl, because it shouldn't happen. It should never happen. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below. Like I said, it seems pretty clear cut so far, but again, innocent until proven guilty. But let me know what you guys think. Also, make sure to leave suggestions for other videos down below. I love getting suggestions. It makes this whole thing a lot easier for me. Also, like, subscribe, do all those nice things. It shows me that you like what I'm putting out, and it helps the channel grow. I really appreciate it. But that's all I have to say. So, like always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next video.